that fancy sign you made?
Yeah.
That says you're live?
You're live.
Okay. How you doing there, Reverend Mike McMorrow coming to you? Oh, I'm sorry, Reverend Dr. Mike McMorrow coming to you from the sanctuary here in the Center for Spiritual Living, Granada Hills. That's the North San Fernando Valley. If you're ever here physically, it'd be great to have you stop in and say hello. We'll be getting back to in-person here probably in March, so we still have a few weeks to go. But it's great to have you with us online today. And so we're just going to do what we've been doing now for, well, since the pandemic, which is going to just do a little physical body warm-up. For those of us who've been, either you've been stuck at home and haven't been moving around much, or if you're like me, you've been sitting in front of your desk for most of the day. So, and just reading. It's funny how tired you can get doing office work, you know, compared to the old days of swinging a hammer. Different kind of tired, I guess. All right, so we're just loosening up the trunk, loosening up the spine. And you know, when we're doing that, we're releasing energy, and we're actually even aligning with some energy, getting the energy flowing both in the body temple, and of course we're surrounded by energy as well. And so we're going to take our seat now. For those who do your forward fold standing, you don't need any coaching. But for the rest of us doing the choga or the chair yoga, so we're just going to scooch out to the edge of the seat and sitting upright and comfortable, and just taking a deep conscious breath as we raise the arms up over the head, keeping the shoulders in the sockets, and then down we go very gently, flat back. And so we're just stretching that lower back out, lengthening it a little bit. And we're going to tuck the tummy in, and inhale. Up we go, and exhale down again, very gently, controlled. And this is supposed to feel good. So just feel a little slight stretch in the lower back. Now tuck those tummy muscles, and up we go. Inhale. And down we go very gently. Of course, if you feel lightheaded doing this, then discontinue. All right, tuck the tummy, up we go. So you may want to use exhaling down. You could just go to the back of the chair or to the edge of the table. I actually start my day off doing this one at the kitchen table with a flat back. It's a nice way to lengthen the back and feel the spine stretch. Okay, bend the knees, tuck the tummy. Up we go, and exhale down. And of course, if you are standing, then you'll put your hand on your shins, or as I used to do, you touch the floor, which technically I can, but it's probably not a good idea. Taking a deep breath, up we go. Exhale. You'd be surprised how doing something as simple as this consistently, though, will get you a lot more flexibility than you currently have. All right, bending the knees, tucking the tummy, up we go. And exhale down. Okay, and so we'll go back to the seated position. Yeah. A little yawning is good. There's a whole practice around yawning. Have you ever done that? No, I mean, there truly is. So, in fact, let's try that right now. Just do a yawn. All right, so you're breathing in and then relax. Right, so a yawn actually does get an energy flow going in the body. And there are teachers who developed a whole thing around that. I'm surprised Agape's an early adopter on such things. I'm surprised they haven't had him down there.
They probably did. I just wasn't around the
You don't do everything down there? Okay, exhale to the center and then off to the left. Yeah, when I was a new minister, exhale to the center, eyes to the right. Somebody said, oh, you're supposed to be at everything. There's no way I can be at everything. You know, and keep my sanity. There's something about, ministers. People like ministers who are friendly and not snarky. It's kind of an important part of ministry. So it's important to do self-care, right? Which is true in any of our relationships, really, right? I mean, who wants a snarky husband? Sorry, Stephanie. Eyes to the left. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this is probably the most beneficial of all the stuff that I do. Release. And I tell you what it is because I've really noticed it since the pandemic. Release to the center, looking to the right. Is that I'm online reading stuff all the time now. Release. And I remember eyes to the left. When they started talking about how newspapers were going to move online and people would start reading them electronically, eyes to the front, eyes now to the right. And I thought, that's dumb. Who's going to do that? And I am not an early adopter to the center. So I'm late to the game, but now I'm just, reading the paper, releasing. That's the great thing about smartphones, right? So in the old days, if you thought, gee, how do you convert Celsius to Fahrenheit again? I don't remember how to do that, right? Well, for the smartphone, all you got to do is look it up. There's all, you'd be, if you're like me, if you're a curious person, you're looking up all kinds of weird stuff. All right, so let's move our head in a circle. Hope I'm not being too chatty tonight. This is all included, of course. Entertainment is included tonight. There's no extra charge. Or you could pay me to stop. Do I hear $1? Check the chat, Mike. Do we have $1? All right. To the center and now going back the other way. There was this guy at Inner Power Yoga in Calabasas. I forget his name now. And to the center and reverse the other way. He was a yoga instructor up there. And on Saturdays, he had this class that was pretty full. And really, the thing that I liked most about the class was the banter. release that, and he played 60s and 70s hard rock in a yoga class. Reverse. Wayne was his name, Wayne. And he wrote a book, The Genius Inside, I think. Okay. So, that's good. So now we're going to scooch out to the edge of the seat again. We're going to do some side bends. All right, so let's take a deep breath. Let's see, drop the right hand down and left hand on the waist. And then we're going to lift that right arm up. We're going to look through the right armpit and just allow ourselves to feel a stretch in that lat muscle, right? This back muscle here. And lift our waist and exhale down. And that hand goes on your waist. And the left hand down, thumb out, eyes to the left, breathing up and stretching. Lifting the waist, release. Reverse. Eyes right, up we go. Exhale down. Eyes to the left, breathing, lifting the arm. Now let's really lift the ribs up off the waist. Feel that stretch. Let's take a couple breaths here. Release. And right arm down, eyes to the right, breathing up. And again, lifting the ribs up off the waist. And exhale down. Okay, and then let's just do a few more little twists. You can do a twist and shout if you want. Who wrote that song initially anyway? Speaking of looking up things on your smartphone.
Oh, I just heard it today.
It wasn't Little Richard.
Chubby Checker?
Chubby Checker, maybe?
I heard it by Sam Cooke, I think, today.
Sam Cooke, really?
I think that's the Beatles did it too.
Well, that was the all-time version. Because they got some harmony in there. All right, I'm making my way to the cushion, Mike. Oh, yeah. So I shall light the candles. Unless you would like to light them. Would you like to do that? So it's a little easier if you pull them out that way. Ooh, ooh, shocking. Got a lot of static electricity going on out there right now with that wind. All right. So, we have Miss Miriam here to give us a hand tonight. So let's show her some love in the chat.
Oh, it's the Isley Brothers.
The Isley Brothers.
But it was written by Phil Medley and Bert Burns.
Well, there you go. See? This is full service meditation here. The Isley Brothers and Twist and Shout. And I think Hendrix played with the Isley Brothers at one time. All right, so let's just take a deep conscious breath together. And we release as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And as we know, we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. That fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this evening. So as Miriam lights the first candle, it is for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. The third candle we light for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. The seventh candle we light for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. The 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space that we are holding for them here in our sanctuary, within our online community, and within our own hearts. And now as Miriam lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender, I surrender. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I surrender, I surrender. I trust in God.
So taking a deep conscious breath and releasing. We're releasing into this moment, allowing ourselves to be fully present and to surrender to the indwelling presence of the Most High, that place within ourselves that's never been violated, that knows only peace, harmony, understanding, joy, love. And so we call forth now this indwelling presence of the Spirit and allow ourselves to consciously connect with it. That we are immersed in it. We are swimming in it. And it is swimming in us. It is both impressing and expressing itself in, through, and as you and me and all people all beings, all of creation in ways seen and unseen. And so, in this conscious connection with the One, we now set an intention for this evening. Even as we release any attachment as to how that unfolds. And I'm just claiming for each one of us here that part of this task then is just to simply be. To follow the breath, to find our way to the One. So we take a deep breath. Release the day, all the cares, concerns, as we allow ourselves to claim this time as our own. We just release it all now in deep gratitude and confidence, knowing it is done. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. So thank you, Miriam. So do I remember right that you're a practitioner? Yeah, long time, I think. Ooh, master practitioner. So that's 20 plus? Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll have to get you up to do the opening prayer for us. Any way you want to do it. But, you only have 5 minutes. That's an inside joke. Okay. All right, so tonight, as you know, if you've been joining us for some time, and who says meditation can't be a joyful experience, right? All right, so 365 Science of Mind, this is our commitment, my wish and our commitment as a spiritual community to kind of get back to basics this year, as we know now that we are definitely emerging out of this physical contagion known as the pandemic, and now it's time to unleash a spiritual contagion of an anticipation of opening up, of releasing really in a new way these maybe these energies that we have kind of kept tamped down, right? In the way that you would tamp down a fire, right? Maybe we've kept this fire tamped down for a while, but now we're revisiting just back to basics and science of mind. So when we get the all clear, we can really stoke the fire and let the good times roll. And so today, being February 9th in this month, whose theme, of course, is, or maybe it's not so obvious, but it's being February, is love. And Robert Browning wrote, "All's love, yet all's law." I did not know that was from Browning. And Rumi, and we love Rumi around here, "Love is a fire, and I am the wood." And then Plotinus wrote some time ago, which you could say the science of mind, this process theology that science of mind is built on, comes from Plotinus. We may think of the divine as a fire whose outgoing warmth pervades the universe. So there's some good stuff there. So our affirmation for the day, for February 9th, I give form to the invisible. I give form to the invisible. And then Holmes used this quote from Matthew, "Let your light so shine before men that they shall see your good works and glorify your Spirit which is in heaven." Life at the center of your being is a silent power. Life at the center of your being is a silent power. Physical facts, form, and conditions are no obstruction to this power. It flows through them and takes a new form in them. It remolds them. That which makes can remake. That which molds can remold. That which creates can recreate. Remember, what you see comes from what you do not see. The visible is the invisible made manifest. It is the invisible caught in temporary form. Every time you think, you are giving form to this invisible power. Every time you think, you and I think, we are giving form to this invisible power. The question arises whether any limit can be placed upon the possibility of the conscious use of spiritual power. Theoretically, it would seem impossible to place such a limit. The only limit would be that which proceeds from lack of belief or understanding. The Spirit itself must be ever present within us. If we could strip our mind of fear, superstition, and all sense of separation from this divine presence, approaching it quite simply and directly, we would probably be surprised at the results that would follow. In using spiritual law, the one having the greatest faith obtains the best results. I am surrounded by a spiritual presence that responds to my word. Today, I take charge of my thinking, knowing that the divine appears to each only as a measure of our own imagination. I enlarge the concept I present to it for fulfillment. I await calmly and expectantly for new and greater experiences to come to me. So that's Ernest Holmes, a guy who spent his lifetime contemplating and writing about this thing that we call this philosophy. So I got to tell you something I want to share with you and see if you might get some benefit from it this week. So I've been involved in a very small way with a film around energy healing. Now I have to say, I'm pretty skeptical about such things. Mostly because, well, what I now know, because I really haven't given it much consideration. I have a skeptical mind, and but I have to say, this film's got me to thinking. And if we think, so one of the things that I really came to embrace and embrace when I consider the nature of the divine is that it is a field, a thought field, right? And what is thought but energy, right? And so this idea of energy healing, even though they are working with energy as aligning with and freeing up blocked energy and some of these other things, I don't disagree with that. And yet at the same time, what I know, whatever we use within our mental constructs to understand that there is a field of the divine of which we can co-create with, that we can initiate healing with, for we are being restored to a sense of homeostasis, of balance, of wholeness, by understanding that that all is energy reformulated. And this is what Holmes is talking about in this reading tonight. That form moves in and out as the thought of the divine acted by its thought acting upon within the limits of the law of which is also infinite, and that our minds are a reflection of that. So I thought tonight we would play with this energy and invite the divine to make itself known by means of an energetic tonight. So maybe just pay attention while we're doing our meditation tonight and see if you don't, by opening up in this way, that you don't feel a sense of an energetic happening in the way of sensation. So, of course, I'm not going to speak to things like chakras and so forth because I'm not an expert on such things, but it certainly does seem to make sense that an erect spine would activate an energetic. And so we want to check our posture tonight, whether you're sitting in a chair, sitting at a cushion, or even if you're lying down, just even then, check the spine, right, and make sure we're erect and straight. And the chin isn't stressed out, but we're just slightly down, and the head is balanced on the head, which is balanced on the spine. The spine is balanced on the sit bones. Sit bones balanced in a nice, strong base. As we take a deep, conscious breath together and release. And in that release, we're feeling a surrendering, a releasing. We're just bringing our attention to the movement of the breath in the nostril. Following the breath. Of course, we know, the scientists tell us that energy is everywhere present, so we are breathing and exhaling, exchanging. And even within the biological body, within the physical body, in ways that can be seen and measured. Taking the breath and creating form from breath. take a deep conscious breath together. And on the exhale, and then we're going to focus on the exhale on the breath. So breathing and release. As we go into the silence for about 15 minutes. breath. So with each in-breath now, we are shifting the energetic of the body temple as we sense this globe of golden light at our heart center. So we're breathing in the energy of the divine, and it's mixing, coalescing with the energy of the divine within. Exchange is made, releasing that which no longer serves us. We feel a sense of restoration with each breath. Fortifying, strength, resiliency. So this globe now, this ball of light, expanding with each breath. In the way that we blow a balloon, inflate a balloon. This warm, golden, radiant light. Extending now beyond the body torso, side to side, front to back, top to bottom. We are sitting now in this field of golden, energetic light. Continues to fill the room in which we occupy. It's not bound by time or space. So it's now co-mingling with our friends on this, in this moment, on this call. So we feel an energetic within the body temple that we know that with each breath at an atomic level, we are aligning with this divine power, presence, thought, energetic love. So at every atom, every molecule, every cell, every muscle is fortified, is resilient, is strengthened as we align with this energetic pattern of perfection, which is divine thought, setting everything straight, making those crooked ways straight within our body temple, so that everything is working optimally right now, that our mind we now open. We are now consciously open at the top. We are feeling an activation of golden light and energy as we feel an exchange happening, that we are open and receptive to new and creative ideas, that we remain open from this moment forward, that we are confident that there is a divine download happening even now, in ways conscious and unconscious. And so in this way, we're also releasing any thought that no longer serves our highest good, whether it be self-judgment or judgment of others. That we release any thought that no longer serves us around any aspect of our life in ways known and unknown. So I am now taking a deep breath, and I am releasing my fondness of overindulging in sugar. I'm releasing that now, and I'm open to a new divine download, a cleansing, if you will, around that issue for me personally. That I'm knowing that in consciousness that those of us on this call are raising and supporting me in this endeavor. So we now raise and support the intentions, the cares, and concerns of anyone on this call tonight. That we just take a deep conscious breath together and releasing all to that aspect of the mind of the divine itself, expressing as unconditional love as the law of its own being. That aspect of the divine that knows only to say yes. Yes, my beloved, yes, in you I am well pleased. So in deep gratitude and confidence, we release it now to its divine unfoldment. As we leave here tonight, making our way through the rest of this evening, we arrive home in safety and in good order, making our way to bed. As we hit the pillow, we drift off easily and effortlessly to a deep and restful sleep, dreaming sweet dreams, awakening feeling rested, restored, revitalized, full of vim and vigor, and a sense of excitement for the day. So we just one more breath in and release. Let it go, knowing it is done, knowing it is so. And we acknowledge this together by saying, and so it is. Amen. So, thanks for joining me tonight. That was a nice meditation for me. And if you are a first-time visitor, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that little bell. That'll notify you when we're on YouTube, and which we will be on again this Sunday morning, February 13th, Super Bowl Sunday. So we're having a prayer meeting for the Los Angeles Rams. No, I'm joking. But we could, right? So if you make it to service online on Sunday, I can guarantee the Rams will win. No, I can't do that. But anyway, so as you can see, we like to have fun. We'll have Jason here for some music and presiders with their own take on things, and good, solid prayer practitioners to support the service. And of course, we'll have Mike and Evan and maybe Renzen as well. So until then, peace and blessings. Know that you're loved, and I will see you on Sunday at 10:30. All right, bye now.